Hey everyone, Dom here. In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple but very powerful technique so that you can turn pretty much any sound you want into a cinematic masterpiece or an ethereal pad. So I'm going to show you how we can turn a simple sample like this into this cinematic atmosphere. And this is also going to be fully playable. Let's get started. What I'm going to show you in this video is how you can take pretty much any sound. It could be a sample from your library, it could be a sample from MediaBay, it could be something that you record on your own, maybe your voice, maybe a guitar, and turn it into a playable cinematic instrument or into a pad, an ethereal pad. Let me show you. So I'm going to start with this very simple sample that comes from Night Cold Synthwave that's included in Cubase. It's a very simple synth one-shot. That's it. It cannot get any more simple than this, but that's why I wanted to pick this sample so that I can show you what amazing things you can create even with the most simple sound. So let me show you what I did right here, because I only used two tools in Cubase to create this sound. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my lower zone and I'm going to go to my sampler control. The first thing I'm going to do is turn this sample into a playable instrument with the sampler track. So I'm going to drag this into my sampler track, and now of course I can play it straight away. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to already turn this into a big lush sound. So the most simple thing you can do is go here to your inserts and add the new Shimmer reverb, and immediately you will see that this sound is now transformed. And if I want, I can wash it in a sea of reverb. And maybe I also want to keep the low end for this one. I'm going to up the reverb as well. And maybe I even want to lower the pitch. Maybe the intensity as well. So already this is very impressive, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to deactivate my Shimmer reverb, and I'm going to show you a few more tricks that we can do to make the sound truly cinematic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to my sampler track, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about what kind of sound I want to create. In this case, I want to create a sound that's like a drone, but maybe it has a little bit of a build-up. So build-up equals reverse sounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sample and reverse it. I'm going to click on the reverse. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my sample start a little bit closer to the beginning of the note. And one thing that I want to say straight away, make sure you have your snap to zero crossing so that you don't get any clicks when you change the length of your sample. This sounds good. Now, what I want to do is I want to create a loop as well. So I want this to keep playing while I'm holding the key. So I can go here to my loop mode and set it to continuous if I want to. And let's see what that sounds like. This is actually quite good. It's really nice and rhythmic, but maybe I want to also use alternate. If I want to, I can even change my sustain loop start and end, and I can create a crossfade so that it sounds a little bit smoother. That's really nice. Now, here's the magic sauce that we're going to use in this case. What I want to do is I want to go here to my playback settings and experiment with them. So the first thing I can do is I can change the speed. So maybe I want this to be like a very nice gradual build up. So one thing that I can do is I can go to my audio warp and now I can change the speed. And you can of course experiment with all the different algorithms, but what I like to do is go to spectral. I like the spectral algorithm. So let's see how this sounds. Okay, so let's slow it down. Okay, now let's try spectral HD. And you can experiment with these different algorithms. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my Shimmer reverb again. Let's see. Now let me go ahead and try some different algorithms because every algorithm is going to give us a different sound. Let's deactivate audio warp and let's try the vintage algorithm. And right here, I want to say this all started from this sample. Okay, just to give you a little bit of perspective. So again, I like to play with the algorithms. Let's go back to the spectral. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a tiny bit of grit. I'm going to add some distortion. So I'm going to activate my filter here and I'm going to add a little bit of distortion. Let's see, a little bit of drive. And you can see different types of distortion give us different results. Now let me show you another trick that I use to create very interesting cinematic sounds. So I use Shimmer pretty much as a synth, and let me show you what I do. So sometimes I like to go and change parameters like the modulation and the pitch in real time. So check this out. So you can see how many different things I can do to create very interesting variations of this sound. Now, what I did here on the sound that I played at the very beginning of the video was I added something else that we have in Cubase 14 that allows you to create even more amazing sounds like this that animate. I added a modulator to my pitch control right here. So let me show you how I did this. I'm going to click here and show my modulators, and I'm going to go and add a new modulator. I'm going to use an LFO, and now I'm going to click on the pitch parameter so that we can assign this LFO to my pitch, and you can see it's already moving. So let's open this modulator right here. I'm going to set it to free mode, and I'm gonna go very slow, very slow. And now let's play and see how it sounds. And again, I want to remind you, this all came from this sound. That's it. Now, I want to show you a few more examples that I have created here. For example, I have this choir here. And let me show you how I turn this into. Let's play this instrument. It's completely unrecognizable. And again, the only thing I'm using here is the same technique. I have a shimmer reverb here, and I also have this spectral HD playback mode for my audio warp. Let's try another sound. This comes from this vocal sample. And with the sampler track and the shimmer reverb, as you can see, I've set up my loop points right there. Let's see how it sounds. And in this case, I'm using the spectral vocal algorithm here because this is a solo vocal and I felt it sounded really nice. And one thing that I added here is this phaser. And you know, you can play with the position of these effects. So I have the shimmer here and I have the phaser before it. But if I want to have the phaser effect be more prominent, I can just move it after the shimmer reverb. And this is the phaser that you can find inside Cubase, by the way. Beautiful. And there you go, now you've got a technique to turn any sound into something massive and cinematic. Try it out in your next production. I think you'll be amazed at what you can create. Have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.